We're holding on the second part of the Yichus of Dovid hmelech. We said already the Dovid questioned it, and Avner could not argue with him. He was silent. So the hemshech of the Gemara, again, we're holding by Yevomas Ein Vav Amud Beis. The hemshech of the Gemara, miyad, after what Avner was silent, couldn't answer Dovid Vayomer hmelech sh'al ato ben miza ha'elam. So he sent again Shaul HaMelech, sent Avner, his general. He says, find out ben miza ha'elam, who's this boy? Now the Gemara says also nar elam. Beginning, the first time when he asked Avner who's this boy, he called him the nar. Now he calls him ha'elam. What was the difference? The Gemara says, the reason changing from nar to elam, iloshen ha'elam. Halacha is saying to Avner, you couldn't argue with Doyek. See what they're going to say in Beis HaMedrash regarding the fate of Dovid hmelech. According to Doeg is Bechal not a Jew. Shaul, he went to Beis HaMedrash. Avner asked them, what do you think about this? It says, Lo Yova Amoini Mavi B'Kal Hashem. Omru le Amoini v'le Amoinis Moyavi v'le Moyavis. So they told him he's kosher because the prohibition not to take amoini to a ger, it's only for a male, but not moyavis memela. You could take moyavis memela a Ruth with a kosher gioires memela. Dovid hmelech is kosher lova bakol. Actually, doy kol hana koshiosa. Looks like when Shaul HaMelech sent Avner to Beis HaMedrash, Doeg went also to Beis HaMedrash. He didn't let Avner go by himself, and he asked all these questions that he would argue with Avner. He asked them now. They went back and forth. Ishtiku. The same thing happened with them. He was able to.
What did he say?
There was that's in the previous year. You could watch over there. There was a back and forth. Shilas. He came to the point. The Ishtiku, the all, came to the deadline. That end of here. There's no. He out argued them that l'choira he's not kosher lova bakol. What it says, boy lachruza. They came to the point that in Beis HaMedrash wanted to all to get together. If we cannot answer Doeg and his tinus are good, lachruza to make a achroza that Dovid hmelech is not b'chalal a Jew, not kosher lova bakol. The Gemara says. Miyad, it's a pasuk in Shmuel, va'amoso ben ish ushmo Yisro ha'Yisraeli asher bo el Avigail bas Nochash. Uchsiv, that's in Divrei, and in Shmuel base, it says they call him va'amoso ben ish ushmo Yisro ha'Yisraeli asher bo el Avigail bas Nochash. Uchsiv, in Divrei Hayomim, when they talk about this, the same man, they say Yisro ha'Yishmaeli. Over here in Shmuel base, they call him Yisro Israeli. In Divrei Hayomim, they call him Yisro Ishmaeli. It's Israeli or Ishmaeli? Omar Rova Melamed Chagar Charba Ki Ishmael. He's really Israeli. But he took his sword. Omar, call me she'ena shomea like Ishmael, like an Arab, and he says, call me she'ena shomea halacha zu yidoker b'cherev. You must listen to this halacha. He says, Kach mekubalan bezdina shel Shmuel haramosi, Shmuel hanovi, and he says, Amoini v'lo amoinis, Moyavi v'lo moyavis, meaning Shmuel hanovi said that moyavis is kosher, lova bakol. So Mamela, you cannot machriz anim is not a Jew, is kosher 100%.
Shmuel's basin was a greater base than these. That was the idea.
The Gemara says that the Gemara can answer this. The Gemara says, "We meheman, could we trust him? L'choyre v'omar Rabba." Omar Rab Abba, I'm sorry. Omar Rab.
That's the one who said this. This
guy.
The question of the Gemara are going to answer this question too. Omar Rab Abba, Omar Rab, Kol Talmid Chochem, Shomer Halacha, Ubo, Im Kodam Maisa, Amoro, Shomin Lov, Im Lav, and Shomin Lov. Meaning, like, if somebody comes and says Halacha, Talmid Chochem, that he heard from somebody Halacha, that's the Halacha, whether it's a Mesoyer, Halacha, Moshe Misina, from a Novi. If he said the Maisa, if he said the halacha before any Maisa, he said objectively, then we'll listen to him. But if Maisa Kodam Lo, like in his case, he was, this man Amosa, Israeli, Shmo Yisra Israeli, he was the brother-in-law of Dovid hmelech.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah, how? Because Dovid hmelech had two sisters, Thruya and Abigail. He had also a wife, Abigail. That's a separate story. But he had two sisters, Thruya and Abigail. From Thruya came Yoav ben Thruya, that later on became his general.
Yeah.
And from Abigail, he married Abigail, this Amosa ben Ish, Shmo Yisra Israeli, Asher Boel Abigail Bas Nochosh. Why which is there's Ben Yishai? Why they call him Nochosh? The Gemara Mabasra said because he's mes beitya shel Nochosh. If not the aver of Etzadas, he would not die.
Oh, yeah.
He would live forever. He was a tzaddik gomer. Yishai. So they call him. It's another. There's another explanation, but we're not going to go into it. We said already that Nochosh is gematria of Mashiach, so that's which is from him come Dovid hmelech come Mashiach. But we're not going to go into this right now. Upon him, so l'choira, this Amosa is saying a testimony for himself, because if Dovid hmelech is a goy, then his children are goyim,
Right.
because his wife is Abigail, Achois Dovid. So l'choira, that's what the Gemara asks. L'choira, if Maisa Kodam comes first, Maisa, his own case, it's his own fate, totally in it. How could you trust his testimony? The Gemara says, Shane Achad or Shmuel of Dinei Kayom. The only reason you're right. Normally, if Maisa came first, then he says halacha, we don't trust him. Because you have to say the halacha before it's not committed to you. Over here we trust him because Shmuel bezdina kaim. So your question was why we trust Shmuel more. Shmuel is a Novi. It's not Stam Talmud Chacham arguing. The Nevi'im would trust like a posuk. We learn a lot of stuff from the Nevi'im. If Shmuel a Novi paskin, that's Amoini v'loy Amoinis Moyav v'lo Moyavis. That's the halacha. That's it.
Trusting him that he said.
No.
that
His
Shmuel
question
said.
was why we trust the
Shmuel's
psak of
basing.
Shmuel more than the psak in Beis Medrash. Because these are novice, b'chal different
That's a
madrega.
psak-
It's not
what-
Talmud Chacham arguing. He has the Nevi'im. We learn a lot of halachas from the Nevi'im. They had Kabbalah. They had, okay, now the
Why are
Gemara
we
is.
trusting Amos that he heard from
Because
that
Shmuel's alive, they can
said
verify
what?
it. Shmuel's alive, they can verify it, and he's not going to
He
be
was
proven-
alive.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Okay, very good. Now the Gemara says, Mikol Mokem Kashya. No, there's a Maisa, they said the Rosh Yeshiva, those days, a lot of times they used to go, big Rabbonim, to find the Shidduch for their daughter. They used to go to Yeshiva, say a big shir, and then ask a Kashya, and whoever would answer such a complicated question, oh, you could be my son-in-law. One time this big Rav went to a yeshiva, a big yeshiva, and he said, all shir, all people. Then he asked a kshayla, but nobody was able to answer. Okay, he said, I have to look for my son-in-law in a different yeshiva. After he leaves, one bacher runs after him. He says, Rabbi, he says, okay, we didn't answer your question, but tell us what's the answer. I want to know what the answer. Oh, he says, oh, you're going to be, he says, my son-in-law. Anyway, the question of the Gemara over here, all this fine, back and forth, and Shmuel Anovi Paskin, that's says, but the Gemara become okay, kasha, the kasha of doiga doimi.
Yeah.
It's got okay. So I'll tell you now. You asked before. What was the main punchline at the end of doiga doimi? Why was said moyavi v'lo moyavis? All these arguments. Asher lo kidmu etchem v'alechem v'b'mayim. The din du achnas orchem. A whole nation passing by asked them if they want water, they want bread. And since one of the simonim of Umazu, our nation, is Rachmanim v'hmelech chasodim, they don't have this quality of Rachmanim v'hmelech chasodim, they can't be part of our nation. When I'm makabel them. Something later on, we're going to see that Dovid hmelech gozer ala givoinim, not to makabel them, because they showed achzorius. So he says, we are Rachmanim. If you don't have the midah of Rachmanim,
the females would.
oh, so that was the argument back and forth of Avner and Doeg, l'choire, so that you have taina only on the man. The man, darko shel ish lekadam, v'lo darko shel ish lekadam, she's tznua. So why you have tainas, and that's what's taka, why moyavi v'lo moyavis, because we have no taina on the moyavis. But the Doeg's kasha was, if that's the case, the reason you're giving them a discount to the ladies because that's not darkom to go to offer the man food and water. Says why not? The man should have gone to the man to give water and bread. The woman should go to the woman. That was ishtik. They couldn't answer. So memele, if they didn't do that, l'choire, it's also a raya that they also don't have a good midas. Memele, there should be possible of a bakol. That's the Gemara. Mikol mokem kashia. So the Gemara answers. Hoche Targum in Talmud Bavli, the answer, Kol Kvuda Bas Melech Penimo, the woman doesn't have to be outgoing one. Kabel Orchim and this, that's Avraham Avinu did. Sorry, didn't do that. But Ma'arova, and that's all the answer. V'temer Rabbi Yitzchak, Mar Krova Yomru Elav Ayeh Sora Ishtecha, V'yomer Hina Ba'oyel. It means that the nature of the woman have to be tznuah ba'oyel memele. That's why
No
they.
raya.
Yeah. One second. Why you rush? Why you rush?
Don't rush.
Without in mind already.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say something from the Satmar Rebbe. We have a Satmar
Rabbi
guest
Yoel.
over here. Rabbi Yoel.
Oh,
He
I
said
have a
like
big
this.
thing from-
Rabbi Yoel said that in the Israeli army, he said when they took the woman as soldiers, he says they wants her to uproot Malchus Beis Dovid. What's the connection? Uproot problems, yeah, it's news or whatever. So he says the whole argument over here, why we machshir Rus Lova Bakol Kol Kvuda Bas Melech Penima. If not for this, she would not be Emes Giyoris. Dovid HaMelech would be a goy. Moshiach ben Dovid would not be Moshiach ben Dovid. The whole thing would be
Yeah, it's a
possible.
shvach
If the whole if the whole
Pikuach
thing
nefesh,
was
it's pikuach nefesh.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
if the whole thing was mitzad that's not darka shel isha
Yeah,
to go out to go and even to do achnas orchim, how much more to go to the war. Memele, he says that whole Indian, it's uprooting. It's going to be a shaila. If you're going to machshir it, then you're going to say why the woman then didn't go out to mach. Memele, he said this goes against the whole Malchus Beis Dovid. So we see from him the bottom line, Isha kod kvuda bas melech penima, she have to be more tzniusdik and not outgoing. And it's the whole hechsher where we machshir Rus, and that's why we machshir Malchus Beis Dovid. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.